Hey, what's going on, guys? So, my name is Tyler, from the Jays, and I have a more interesting deck profile to be showing you guys. It is a Murakumo deck, specifically Shirayuki.
Yep.
Now, first off, I start off with Fugen, because in the back, it's really good, because if you don't have any boosters in your hand, this thing can boost your entire field by moving. And then also, if it's off to the side and you can't use it, you can just get a free 3k and move a Shadow Stitch unit back to your deck. So, unless it's taken over Kagero, it's really good. Moving on to the grade zeros. The rest of the grade zeros, I should say. Run the new heal trigger, Stealthy Tamayuki, which is the basic bind 2 from the drop zone after you summon a G Guardian. And you either countercharge or soul charge. So, 4 of those, obviously. Next off, got a playset of Drench Serpent, who, as a booster, does Shadow Stitch, and it allows me to give 4k to one of my other units, countercharge, soul charge, and return it to the bottom of the deck. So it's some really big pressure, like, do I want to take the hit, or do I want that big effect to come into play? And recycling, so lots of stand trigger in this deck. Then I'm running 4 Cat Devil for the pop into soul, get 3k. Helps with Shibaraku Buster later on, get those soul blasts. Along with just 4 Sting Wolf basic crits, just to get that 8 crit. So there's going to be a lot of crits in this deck. And now let's move on to the grade 1s. First off, Stealth Beast White Heron is the perfect guard. And you select your Vanguard that's being attacked and it can't be hit. And then if you already have one in the drop zone, you get to countercharge. So, some more good countercharging material. Then, Gateway Stealth Rogue Ataka. I run the playset of 4 because you want to keep your Shirayuki in hand for that successful Sweetly Smiling turn. So this thing is what you likely want to stride with. Unfortunately, it is locked to Yasuie for its other effect, but still, Stride Feather, very useful, especially with how Shirayuki works.
Striding is fun. Striding is life.
Oh yeah, until the next era.
Yeah, sad face.
Agreed. Next up, place of Lake Diver, because Lake Diver is a lot of fun. So you place 1, and for a simple counter blast, which we already discussed all the different counter charging ways, you get to call 2 more from the deck. And this is good for growing your field and then just having it vanish. Leaves some, and it leaves 1 on there, which I'll discuss a use for that later once we get to the G zone. Then finally, 3 Wadayuki to keep stuff that I want on the field from Shadow Stitches. The Shadow Stitch returns to the deck. This one, after GB, it keeps that one from returning to the deck from card effects, which Shadow Stitch is a card effect, therefore it stays. Moving on to grade 2s, I run a playset of Stealth Beast Instant Swapper, where after GB, you get to counterblast and retire it. When it misses, search your deck for, I believe it is your Vanguard. Yeah, your Vanguard. With the same name. So, Shirayuki. Once again, pop a Wadayuki behind it, and it stays on the field. Next up is 3 Stealth Dragon Dual Weapon, which is pre-GB retire, but you copy one of your grade 1s or 3s. So if you have a Lake Diver behind it, you can put it down on the field and counterblast if you are past GB, and you get another column right there. So it's good to just add more attacks. Shadow Stitch is just great. Stealth Fiend Awakeheim as some more pressure. You have one of these on the field with just, like, say, a leftover Light Diver from last turn. And after GB, when it misses, choose your Vanguard, and it cannot be hit, or it cannot be guarded by grade 0s. Now, on to the grade 3s. A playset of Fantasy Pillstorm Shirayuki, which is a limit breaker. Counterblast 1 and choose a card from your hand named Fantasy Pillstorm Shirayuki and discard it. And choose one of the attacking units, and it gets minus 20k. So, makes your opponent feel a lot weaker in this instance.
Hey. It's all, you forgot Lord.
True. It is Lord, but in this deck, it's only Murakumo, not even Cray Elemental.
Hey. You got that new Atama matchup, dude. They can't dominate your Vanguard, because if they dominate it, they don't have Murakumo units.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's an even added bonus I didn't know.
If your Vanguard has Lord in its card name, if it gets taken over by Hades' Eyes, because your opponent can copy only the Vanguard to their Vanguard, they do not have any rear guards with Murakumo, and that means that they cannot actually swing with your grade 3, which means that they cannot ever take over your Vanguard to swing.
Which is unfortunate for the next grade 3, which does lose Lord.
Oof.
6 Flowers of Phantasm Shirayuki.
I run 12 Shirayuki because we can never have enough.
We don't have 4 copies.
What a show off, Nick. So, in this one, as the deck in hand, it is regarded as Fantasy Pillstorm Shirayuki. So, Fantasy Pillstorm Shirayuki's effects, you can discard this one, and it works. And then Shadow Stitch will also name this one, regard this one as long as this one's the Vanguard and this one's the deck in hand. Or this one the regard. And then its other effect, choose one or more cards with the sum of their grades being 3 or greater and discard them. Your Vanguard your opponent's Vanguard gets minus 10k for every Shirayuki on the field, which is some importance of Wadayuki. Keep the Wadayuki out with a Shirayuki in front of it. This thing will gain more power. Your opponent will be losing more power.
Yeah, your opponent loses power. It's the same thing in the end.
Basically the same thing. Same
Similar,
concept.
but it's so the Vanguard only loses it, and all your units get to that effect. But the rearguards aren't affected.
Yeah, no, we were going to go back anywhere.
Now, starting off the G-Zone, your first stride is likely Cosmetic Snowfall, where you just search your deck for a Shirayuki and place it on the field. That's simple, no cost. But at the end of the turn, put it into your hand, and you discard 1 card, which could be the Shirayuki, but that's unfortunate if you have to do that. Next up, one of the best 5-cent strides, Sweetly Smiling Explosion Shirayuki, where counterblast 1 and choose a card Shirayuki in its name, which can be done with either itself or a Cosmetic Snowfall, just because it can. Your opponent loses 5k for every Shirayuki face up in the G-Zone. Does not count itself, but with this 3-2 setup, your opponent can lose a max of 20k, usually making them a negative 9k. Then, GB3, just to top it all off, your Shirayuki can attack in the back row, so you can become Aquaforce for a bit. So, it's a good finisher if you can get it situational. But once you get one, you're pretty much set next time you pull it out. But then, of course, Shibaraku Buster! This one, GB2, so it's not first stride. Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 2, choose a card from your hand and discard it, and move a unit from your drop zone to your deck. Whew, big cost. Search your deck for one of your units, so it can be itself, meaning the Vanguard, so a Shirayuki, and call it. And it will get Twin Drive. Yes, now I'm becoming Alfred. So,
Because according to this card's red text, it says that the unit performs drive check, and because when grade 3 is called, they have the twin drive ability. So, you all may say it doesn't, but it does. It does.
don't underestimate Shibaraku Buster.
Shibaraku Buster busted.
It is. So it's also, you just discard, so your hand ends up, you discard one card, and
You plus 4.
You get you get 5 checks total.
Yeah,
but you had to discard one card, so your hand is getting plus 4. And if you have a Wadayuki on the field, that Shirayuki stays, and if you're unfortunately riding to this one, you get to minus 20 now, multiple times. So that's a whole lot of fun. Next up, Yasuie Genma, Soul Blast 1, and choose a face-down card with the same name. If search your deck for a unit that is on the same as your rearguard or drop zone, and call it, no twin drive, but at the end of the turn, you just return it to your hand for free. Then, GB3, all of the... at the end of the battle that this unit attacked a Vanguard, if that attack did not hit, Shadow Stitch being overpowered again, choose up to 5 of your units and they get plus 5,000 and a critical. So, after doing that, you're prepared for Goma, which calls 2 Yasuie units to the rear guards, and so you have grade 4 units, so you'll end up probably looking like this. Then, if at the end of the battle that one of my units did not hit, draw a card and discard a card. So, hand filter right there as well. Then, 1 copy of the GB8 Mandala Ryoyu. Choose 2 cards from your drop zone and put them back into your deck. Search your deck for 2 cards with the same card name as this unit. And then, when this attack misses, move one of them as the heart card and stand it for the cost of discarding 3 cards. So basically, sacrifice your turn's drive check, maybe hand filter a bit, stand again, do it, no loss to drive. Then finally, the 2 types of G-guards, Hogan Wing. So just copy one of your rear guards, grade 1 or higher, from the field to in your deck, and take one from the deck and call it to there. And then this one, move that rear guard, take one from the deck, 5k to the shield, typically making a 30 or 40k shield. So that's my Murakuma deck, and it's really interesting, really fun, and
yeah, with the new support, it probably is going to be getting pretty good in the new era. So
oh yeah.
So hope you all enjoyed that one. We'll see you in the next one.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.